Sunday, October 2nd. I all of a sudden my mind went blank. I hope nobody watches this and that nobody ever remembers anything I said right now, because I'm just really depressed and really drank a bunch of coffee and had like a bazillion thoughts rush through my head, and all of them were dumb, but I was like, maybe I should just get it off my chest. But it's this game. This game is called Guess. No, I think it goes by a lot of names. I had the physical version as a kid, and it was called Mastermind. And I should say my parents had it, and I remember trying to play it. I don't know if I ever really learned. What is this? What am I doing? Oh, I just want to close this because I don't think it's useful. But will it end my recording? I don't remember. So I'll just minimize it. What am I doing then? This game made me think a bunch about artificial intelligence because it's no, well, I mean, more just I've been thinking a lot about artificial intelligence, and when I played this game, it just like sparked a bunch of other questions. I'm back to thinking that we're more animals than anything, and what am I trying to say? Not that, not specifically that. That's a bad way to put it. I'm back to thinking that we have that our concept of general intelligence or human intelligence isn't that, maybe isn't what we think it is. There's not like I don't think we have general intelligence the way that we talk about general artificial intelligence, or artificial general intelligence, sorry, AGI. I don't think humans even have that, and I think we just do a lot of guessing and checking, and that our emotions are behind almost all of our thinking. Like, you have to at least feel interested in something to, no, you don't have to, but I think that a lot of the people who have accomplished a lot of great thinking had an emotional tie to it. They either enjoyed it or felt like driven to do it, like something was pushing them, like compelled, or they felt like extremely interested, or they felt, I don't know what they felt, but I'm sure they felt something other than like feeling nothing. I think they had some kind of emotional tie to it. Anyway. Oh, speaking of which, couple of thoughts about artificial intelligence that I want to find on YouTube. Richard Feynman, artificial intelligence. I hope that doesn't search. He says something about the can machines think.
This is a Q&A excerpt on the topic of artificial intelligence.
He says something about a board game and a machine that learned to come up with helpful heuristics that it should follow. Why is this intro so long? What's going on here?
First of all, they think like human beings. I would say no. And I'll explain in a minute why.
The audio's way too quiet. Wait, why? Oh, muted it? No.
Is a question, intelligence is to be defined. If you
My computer is muted? Yeah.
Many human beings
Whoa.
Yes, I get you. someday. They're better chess players than most human beings right now.
Okay. Someone asked if a machine could think like a human, and he says depends on what kind of thinking. Um, Machines are better than most chess players already.
One of the things, by the way, that we always do is we want the darn machine to be better than anybody, not just better than us. If we find a machine that can play chess better than us, it doesn't impress us much. We keep saying, and what happens when it comes up against the masters? We imagine that we human beings are equivalent to the masters in everything, right? The machine has to be better than a person in everything that the best person does at the best level, okay? But it's hard on the machine. But with regard to the question of whether to make it to think like a machine, my opinion is based on the following idea. That we try to make these things work as efficiently as we can with the materials that we have. The materials are different than nerves and so on. If we would like to make something that runs rapidly over the ground, then we could watch a cheetah running. We could try to make a machine that runs like a cheetah. But it's easier to make a machine with wheels, with fast wheels, or something that flies just above the ground in the air. When we make a bird, the airplanes don't fly like a bird. They fly, but they don't fly like a bird, okay? So they don't flap the wings.
Okay, I get it. Oh, I like his shirt a ton. I wanted to get it. That's where I saw that. I want to get a tattoo of that.
Jet propulsion, the jet engine, has internal rotating fans and so on, and it uses gasoline.
And whatever.
So there's no question.
It's hard to have a mechanical counterpart. Oh, whoops. There's where he made his point.
The later machines are not going to think like people think in that sense.
One more time.
Different, right? So there's no question that the later machines are not going to think like people think in that sense.
See, I'm arguing that.
I think it's exactly the same way. For example, they're not going to do arithmetic the same way as we do arithmetic, but they'll do it better. Let's take mathematics, very elementary mathematics, arithmetic. They do arithmetic better than anybody, much faster, and differently. But it's fundamentally the same because in the end the numbers are equivalent, right? So that's a good example. We're never going to change how they do arithmetic to make it more like humans. That would be going backwards. Because arithmetic done by humans is slow, cumbersome, and confused, and full of errors. But these guys are fast. If one compares what computers can...
So, but yes and no. So, it's hard to... So, first off, he says that machines are never going to think like humans in that aspect. Well, I think that as soon as you build a good brain-computer interface, it doesn't matter that a machine is literally connecting to our neurons firing, and it is interpreting those. Like what more can you ask for? I think that a machine will be able to share human thoughts and read them, understand them. I mean, how could it not take part in them or feel them in its own? I think fully, honestly, it's I think that's all that we have. I think that we just have a different type of I think that our senses are just a bunch of signals that get mashed up, and since we have so many neurons and so much activity going on in the brain, we feel it like an experience, like a whole experience. And I don't understand how a machine would ever not be able to do that too, and even convey what it's feeling too. It would be really good at it. It could just display it onto a screen, or say it out loud or whatever. Maybe, that's future stuff. That's just what I think. But the other thing here, he says that computers do arithmetic differently. Well, if you think of a Turing machine, how did a person come up with the long division, the process, how to draw that little L shape and all that? Is I think a person, you can do mental math only up to a certain point, and he's about to say this too, and that a machine, on the other hand, could just literally remember every digit along the way. You could tell it a 700 digit number, and it will just repeat it right back to you. But once a human has a pen and paper, it becomes a Turing machine. A person also at a certain point just does one little instruction set at a time, and especially Okay, so maybe I'm just misunderstanding his comparison. Maybe he's saying that that's why machines are different because they don't need the pen and paper. But they do. They need to be able to read and write from a disk or I mean, not to say that it has to be a hard disk, but in his day, that's what he's talking about. But now we could read and write from uh, like a solid state drive. But anyway, it has to store and read. Um, in its case, binary, but like it follows the same kind of if you've abstracted away like exactly which number it's storing and exactly which operations it's doing. I mean, they definitely got us beat in speed, which is what he just said, but I think it's kind of the same. Like, we do math the same way, and that's because we programmed it to do math the way that we do math. It adds a 1 and a 0 and gets a 1, uh, for example. Um, it, and we tell it to break down a big number into ones and zeros so it could store it on its paper and it could do its logic the way that it programmatically needs to in order to get to the output that we wanted it to. And well, I don't even care. Whatever. So this is floating around in my head. It's a bunch of crazy, stupid stuff.
First of all, if I give a human being a problem like this, I'm going to ask you for these numbers back, every other one, in reverse order, please. Right? Now, we're going to series of numbers, and I want you to give them to me back in reverse order, every other one. I'll tell you, I'll make it easy for you. Just give me the numbers back the way I gave them to you. You ready? 1, 7, 3, 9, 2, 6, 5, 8, 3, 1, 7, 2, 6, 3. Anybody going to be able to do that? No. And that's not more than 20 or 30 numbers. But you can give a computer 50,000 numbers like that and ask it for them any reverse order, the sum of them, or do different things with them and so on, and it doesn't forget them for a long time, etc. But there are some things that a computer does much better than a human, and you better remember that if you're trying to compare machines to humans. But what a human has to do for his own, they always do this, they always try to find one thing, darn it, that they can do better than the computer. So we now know many, many things that the humans can do better than the computer. She's walking down the street, she's got a certain kind of a wiggle, and you know that's Jane. Right? Or this guy's going in, and you see his hair flip just a little bit. It's hard to see. He's at a distance, but that particular funny way that the back of his head looks, that's Jack. Okay? To recognize things, to recognize patterns, seems to be something we have not been able to put into a definite procedure. You would say, I have a good procedure for recognizing Jack. Just take lots of pictures of Jack. By the way, a picture can be put into the computer. In fact, by this method here. If this were very much finer, I could tell whether it's black and white at different spots. You know, in fact, you get pictures in a newspaper by black and white dots. And if you just do it fine enough, you can't see the dot. So with enough information, I can load pictures in. So you put all the pictures of Jack under different circumstances and ask the machine to compare it. The trouble is that the actual new circumstance is different. The lighting is different, the distance is different, the tilt of the head is different, and you have to figure out how to allow for all that. And it's so complicated and elaborate that even with the large machines with the amount of storage that's available and the speed that they go, we can't figure out how to make a definite procedure that works at all, or at least that works anywhere within a reasonable speed. So recognizing things is difficult for the machines at the present time, and some of those things are done in a snap by a person. So there are things that humans can do that we don't know how to do in a filing system. So is recognition, and that brings me back to something I left, which is what kind of a file clerk can't be imitated by the machine. A file clerk that has some special skill, which requires recognition of a complicated kind. For instance, a file clerk in the fingerprint department, which looks at the fingerprints and then makes a careful comparison to see if these fingerprints match, it's just about ready to be. It's hard to do. It's almost possible to do by a computer. You'd say there's nothing to it. I look at the two fingerprints and see if all the black dots are the same. But of course, it's not the case. The finger was dirty. The print was made at a different angle. The pressure was different, and the ridges are not exactly in the same place. If you were trying to match exactly the same picture, it would be easy. But where the center of the print is, which way the finger is turned, whether it's been squashed a little more, a little bit less, whether there's some dirt on the finger, whether in the meantime you got a wart on his thumb, and so forth, are all complications. These little complications make the comparison so much more difficult for the machine, for the blind filing clerk system, that it's much too slow to be certainly utterly impractical. Almost at the present time, I don't know where they stand, but they're going fast trying to do it. Whereas a human can go across all that somehow, just like they do in the chess game. They seem to be able to catch on to patterns rapidly, and we don't know how to do that rapidly automatically.
Alright, yeah, I don't want to watch this commercial. I'm muted. Whatever. But I feel like I kind of got that off my chest and decided that. Oh, we didn't get to the part where he talks about how the computer learned to play some other game. It was like a much more more complicated. It's a different game than chess, and it's like where you have to battle. You like pick a fleet of navy ships, and but it's not battleship, and and the computer. And this brings me back to my question of how did a person come up with the idea of long division, and how does a computer come up with a solution to a complicated game? I uh, I don't remember what kind of point I was trying to make on that, but as I play this game, I'm like, I could come up with a function that says, given these four colors in their positions and this and keyword and this, I think I could make a function that just goes logically, a logical and comparison, and 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 comes out with a new a true something some other fact about the colors, like given this and this and this and this, is this also true? And it will be able to say no or something. Let's check it out. I got two colors in the right place, so therefore there are only two blues. Like a computer can do that if I program it to, but also a computer can maybe learn that without a person programming it to do it. It can I don't know what I'm thinking anymore. This is good. This is good. I wasn't supposed to be thinking about any of this. It's Sunday and I'm just trying to just waste time and do nothing and feel nothing and think about nothing, and I'm glad it's finally happening. Here we go. My Sunday is finally beginning. I could just forget all this stuff. But let's see if I can. So welcome to Cole's live channel where I play Guess. You guys want to play Guess? At the end you yelled, Geck mate. Whoops, that's the exact same thing that I just did. So I already know that there are no orange. That there is only one of these was the right color at all. And none of them were in the right position. 3 of these were the right color. 1 of them was in the right position. 2 of these were the right color in the right position. And there's no third. So I need a purple in there to get a third correct color. That means that the purple is the correct color. Let's try working with that. A purple, and that there are only 2 blues. Oh, and I think that I got the purple in the right spot on this one. But that's not necessarily the case. But I could know that if I sat down with a pencil and paper, just like a computer could compute it. Damn it. Okay, I'm not gonna bring that up again. But, so I know that there's no orange. I know that there is a red. Whoops, better put a red in there. And that there's 2 blues. And therefore, I know all 4 colors that I need. I got the right 4 colors, but only 1 is in the right position. And my computer's real slow at this point. So let's try everything in a different position except this one. it's impossible to put everything in a different position. Wait, is it? Wait. Except, wait, which one it has to be in the right position? One of these was in the right position. Obviously one of these was in the right. Two of these were in the right position. One of these was in the right position. So one of the blues is now in the wrong position in this one. And one of the blues is in the wrong position in this one. And one of the blues is in the right position in this one. The right position in this one. One's right, one's wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I'll just have to play around with it. Let's see. None of them. Oh, wait. If both of these are wrong, then both of these are right. And that means that this one was in the right spot on this one. And this one again was in the right spot on this one. The same. And that these two were in the right spot on this one. And now it's a 50-50 chance. And I think I could have already... Oh, no. I also know that this was in the right spot, so this was in the wrong spot. So I cannot put it there. So therefore I have to put it here, so only spot left. Alright. Yes. Orange is my favorite color. Every morning I drink orange juice out of an orange cup. Alright. I got my two favorite colors, purple and orange. Now I just have to figure out which one was in the right spot. It was definitely the purple. I just feel it. Let's see if there's any green. Nope. But there is one purple. It's in the wrong spot. Let's see if there's any yellow. Nope. But that's the right spot for the purple. Let's see if there's any red or blue. There's two orange. And only two orange. So there has to be at least a red, an extra blue, or an extra purple. Let's try, whoa. Oh yeah, so I'm able to play this game that's running in Windows subsystem for Linux. This is this. Guess. Oh, actually, maybe it's just running. I don't know. I don't know about this, but if I wanted to, I could install it in my Linux, in my WSL environment here, and somehow maybe. Well, anyways, what I was able to do was install gedit, and if I open gedit, what the goodness sakes, then it will open with the GUI in Windows, and I can even do this, Alt Tab to it. I can type in it, whatever, save it in my Windows file system as long as I look through the mount folder. See, now I'm back into Windows, and if I look at, and I could save it to my desktop. Whoops, what did I just type? There, desktop. And I could put untitled document 1. Sure, and then whoops, I think I did this already. close it, show my desktop, untitled document 1, oh, MOBA RTE, cool, that's new. I just updated this thing, this MOBA X term. Whoops, did I just kill it? Oh, there it is. Maybe that's in here somewhere. MOBA what? MOBA RTE. MOBA text editor. Well, anyways, this has so many things going on with it that I can easily get confused. But what all I use it for is what's it called? MOBA X term right here. And all I use it for is I open it up, I do this, I do session, I do WSL, it just has this default, and this should be set to interactive shell. I've tried a couple other desktops, and anyways, I use just the defaults here, okay, and now it's just the same as doing this, but if I try to do gedit, oh, I guess I can do that now. Oh, because I have an X server running. Wait, how do I verify that? Well, anyways, let's close it. Control C. What I can do is verify that I shut it off here, and I try to do gedit, and it will say it failed to start because your X server is not running. Do you want to start the X server? Cancel. And then I think it will print out an error message here. But what about this? Was it using the X server that was already running, or was it doing its own? Yeah, it must have just been using the X server that's already running. So I guess multiple. The other thing is is this another? See, I don't know enough about Linux about like multiple users, and sessions and terminals. That it goes over my head, and so I don't know if I mean it says CT at laptop da 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 da, and this also says CT at laptop da 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 da. I think that when I do control C, when I do like sudo blah 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 blah, and I type in my sudo password, it's the same when I well, where am I at here? Yeah, it's the same password. So I don't know if I will ever understand this, but maybe one day when I look back at this video, I'll know exactly what's going on and how these two are sharing. Well, three. This one, and now close this tab, and this one that I had originally are all talking to the same WSL using the same user at laptop, who all have the same sudo password, who and whenever I try to run an app that needs a Linux app that needs to talk to and the X server that and needs to use the display display that it will whenever I try to do that, it will all, whichever three of those, same user, same password, and they all use the same environment variables, and they all try to talk to the same display. And I don't know if that's those are things that I don't know how I would ever go about setting one to one display, one to another display. If I had, but I don't even have multiple displays. I'm just on my laptop that just has its own laptop screen and no other thing connected to it. Um, but so yeah, probably one day, probably that day will never come when I learn how to do anything more than it. But I'm just happy that this one app, I can just download it, install it, and start it, and it just works with all the defaults. It just works out of the box, as they say, and that it even comes with guess. Guess. It comes with guess. All right. No, guess. It comes with guess. Uh, it's so you ever heard of guess? This is guess. It's just like this. It's called guess, and then you guess, and there's no yellow. I was close with this. Oh, and there is red, so I know that these two are right, and that there's a red in one of these positions, and that there's another orange. And now I know that I have to swap these. One reason I want to play this and record it is because it's like I want to be able to look back in this and identify like what the fuck my brain is doing. Like, why can't I just think logically through this? But also, like, I'm able to concentrate on this game, but only for so long, and then my brain just goes to something totally different. Well, I mean, not totally different. So far, it's been a little bit related, like the Richard Feynman video or this thing that's running, guess. But man, like, I don't know. It'd be nice to know, like, to just maybe measure like how long my brain can focus versus when it just gives up and just starts doing something else. If it corresponds to a certain part in the game or certain difficulty of cognitive complexity, what do you call that? Cognitive load. If it corresponds to winning, or if it corresponds to losing, or if it like stuff like that. I wish I could just watch myself do this because this is about how my brain. This is about what I need. This is about how much brain function I need during the day to do my job, to do my dishes, to just get through a day. Because I don't like socialize, I don't talk to people, I don't do any of that. So like all I need is just like this simple level of simplicity, and I cannot. It's like, damn, like it's not that hard, but wow, like this is really hard. So I wish I could learn what the hell's going on with my brain. So I'm just gonna record this and maybe look back on it and maybe find something useful and then maybe forget it. And it's just weird. I've been to a psychiatrist and there's answers out there and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. Probably, I don't think I believe in that. Or like just something like, oh really? I have to start making my bed every morning? That's gonna help? Yeah, I think if it were as simple as being able to add a ritual to my day, I could probably, I would probably like have it made. I'd probably be doing just fine if I had that level of autonomy and control to begin with. Like, isn't that my whole problem that I'm going in for? Is that I seem to fuck up every time that I try to do simple tasks like that. All I need to do is just add one more called making my bed. Um, I don't know. Um, oh wait, I know that it's all purple. That one of these is the right color. And then again, one of these is the right color. And that it wasn't red. It wasn't red, so then when I left red out, I still got one right color, one correct color. It wasn't yellow either. Let's try this. Let's try green. It wasn't green either. Let's try blue. And I know that all three of these are in the correct position, so this should be the winner, unless it's orange. Oh, it couldn't be orange, because orange, if it were orange, then I would get 0.0 colors. Yeah, cool. This is the one. I think this is just like such a good analogy for so many things, like, or not analogy, but example of like after the fact logic. Um, just so, like, yeah, it's really cool. Alright, what happens if I do all blue? I feel like whenever I get these, this should tell me a ton of information. That means that 3 of these are the right color. So I know for a fact one, oh cool, and now I know for a fact one of them's blue. But just one. So only 2 of the greens are correct. And if only one blue was, if I only needed one blue, and in this one I only got one correct in the correct place, then it had to be the blue in that position. And now I try it with 2 more greens and just anything. Let's see, my favorite color. Did they give me my favorite color? Yeah. And now I know that 2 of these are in the right place, but if I choose orange here, there is no way for me to change the order. So orange had to be one of them that was in the wrong place. Orange is still in the wrong place. Wait, then why? This one had to be at least in the right place. Wait, what? This is wrong? Then how was this right? And now it's not anymore. Then how was... So this was right. And then one of these 2 was right. And then this and this were, no. We could see here that this is wrong. This and I guess this were right. This and this. And then let's try that. Cool. I think that one was kinda easy. Alright. So if this is talking about the orange, then I know that I only need one orange, and then it has to be in the only other position that it could be. They're not talking about the orange. Let's try it here. I feel it. Oh yeah, this reminds me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for some reason. Did any of them wear a purple headband? So I have to try it with the purple in another position for sure, because if I change the color of a green, I have to put it where the purple is. Did I say change the color of a green? I meant change the position of a green. Now I'm like on a roll, and they didn't give me my favorite color, so fuck this game, quitting, rage quit. Alright, I got my mind is absolutely blank. I'm ready to just sit in a dark room and be nothing and feel nothing. It's gonna be awesome.